Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 175 of Report This Post, the podcast about bad posts and bad people. My name's Geiger, and that is Christian.
Yo, Holmes, what it is, S.A.
Oh, brother. We're your hosts with the posts. Every week, Christian and myself, or a listener, select a different topic and then find horrible posts for your listening pleasure. This week's topic, as chosen by a listener named Zach, is Latinx.
Or Latine. Or Latinx.
Yeah.
Or
whatever. Whatever term that is used by an unbelievably small percentage of the Latino population. And we're going to hear a lot of different opinions about the whole Latinx thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But first, let's hear what Zach, who chose this episode somewhere. How did he choose this episode? Do you know?
Zach purchased this topic over on the shop, and then went ahead and was nice enough to email us what his topic was. We didn't even have to chase him down. Thanks, Zach. You're the real MVP of this episode.
Some guys give us money, don't tell us what they want us to do with it, and then take like a week to respond with what they were thinking. Must be nice just to essentially just throw money away and not think about it. I'm guessing these guys, I would guess most of these purchases were done under the influence of something. Otherwise, I don't understand why you would do it.
Done. I don't know, but that money's going straight into our pockets. So keep it up, folks.
Yep. If you want to give us money in a drunken rage, reportthispost.com. You can click the store link there. Buy a topic, buy shirts, etc. Pillows. We have a pillow with our faces on it.
Coffee mugs. I think we've sold one. So
that's right. Someone out there is drinking out of a mug with our faces on it, which is fucked up, really. But Zach chose this topic for the reason that he gave us here in this email. In my day job, I work with some Mexicans, and they are absolutely flabbergasted that the whole Latinx phrase exists. It infuriates them, and they assume it's just white people from academia who have tried to force it to become a thing. So my thought is that it would be a good premise for an episode. I've seen a lot of really embarrassing shit on Twitter about the phrase, and I'm sure the same applies to other websites as well.
Zach, you ain't wrong.
Yeah. The Latinx thing is, in particular, how quickly, like, every giant corporation picked it up. You know what I mean? Almost like all at once. They just started doing it.
Yeah, I think it's that weird thing of the kind of, when it's Pride Month and everybody changed their logo to the rainbow, has a very much, it smacks of that, of just like inclusion by changing our logo and then immediately changing it back as soon as that's over with. Not inclusive to anybody, doesn't help anybody out. No. It's just a cool word that makes white people feel good when they say it.
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
It's just stupid, though.
Yeah, it sucks that it's just a bad context. Yeah, not really.
Yeah, great. And I've seen the people that actually do use it to describe themselves. They say the reason why they do that is to describe their own identity.
Sure.
Not to describe the entire community, you know?
Sure.
So it's insane that all these companies just decided that Latinx means every single Latin person is called Latinx.
Just completely rewriting their history for them.
Yeah.
We're really good at that, though, so, I mean, it's not surprising.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot about a lot of that stuff in this one. So, what the fuck? Let's just go and get started.
Great. So a photo from the 1940s of some gay guys in a Mexican jail, that's what they used to do to gays back then, got shared over to our LGBT. And Cute Belly commented, "Why are they all pretty, though?" And Hellbos75 responded, "Latinx got good genes." So a lot of folks didn't like this comment, including Kevin C62, who replied, "As a Latino, I hate when people use Latinx. I know it comes from a place of inclusion, but it is not something pushed by the Latin communities, but rather being pushed to us. Better to use Latin. It is gender neutral and people won't care." And a now deleted user added to the conversation by saying, "I'd rather be hate crimed than be called Latinx."
Deal.
Hey, why not both, right? Hey.
I mean, if it's one or the other, I know which one I'm siding with. So, not a problem over here, pal.
So when the inclusive community is even saying, like, don't fucking call me that. Don't say it. Don't call me that. It's great.
Yeah. I swear, a lot of these people are just, I think they just sort of got like a brief memo. Like when they see a new word, they just assume that's the right one to do.
And it's for everyone, right? Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so I was mistaken for saying Latino. Clearly our Mexican hombres must love this new word, so I'm just going to use it. So I guess I'm not going to consult with anyone. It must be just how it is, so I'm using it now.
Yes, our brave Latinx LGBTQ whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Were they pretty, though, the gay guys?
Oh, yeah, they were good-looking guys. And they were all in one cell. They were just packed in there like sardines.
Yeah. Latinx, they sure do have good genes. Well, especially the Mexican ones, the 5'4" guys with the paunches. So hot.
Just completely square men. Yep, terrific.
An independent bookstore posted a picture on Facebook of their new display. It says, featuring Latinx authors. Now, what's interesting is that in the display there were only 2 books, and it was just 2 different versions of Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. A 600-year-old book.
Two copies of this.
Yeah, this inspired some interesting comments, such as this one. Miguel de Cervantes isn't a Latino. He was from Spain, which is a pretty good point to make, considering. Another gentleman said, Latinx is such a fucking stupid term. Sorry if that offends you, but have you maybe thought about not being such a fucking snowflake? Not really sure who he's
upset at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no one even said they were offended by him saying that. It was just like, before you get offended.
I already know you're offended.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware that you're offended.
Then finally, this great response. I think this is the final reason I need to abandon the left. It's been real.
That's the tipping point.
Yeah.
That's the point where this guy's like, yep, packing it in.
Yep. I'm right wing now, so.
Man, it seems so easy to be able to be flipped over to that side, though. They're just like.
I mean, yeah. If you're just someone whose whole thing is being a political person online.
Oh, sure.
You just have to catch 2 YouTube videos and you're done. Either side, just like boom. Oh, everything I thought I believed it was actually wrong, and then 6 weeks later, it's just switched right back over.
Yeah. Yep. And that is how a lot of people base their personalities, especially online. So he must not have been a real leftist if the Don Quixote, the 2 copies, and the Latinx was what really pushed him over the edge. Because literally anything else about being a leftist should have done it first.
Yes, I would say so, yeah. Is it the failing all the time? That didn't get you going?
Yeah, you don't like getting your face just stomped into the mud over and over again? Oh, cool. Go. Well, have some fun doing the stomping over there.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're at it, why don't you do a hate crime too? So,
yeah,
really, just flip the script completely. So, help us all out. A discussion about Latinx was started over on Facebook, where a guy with an American flag avatar replied, "What the hell is Latinx? Either Latino or Latina. Biology states that either an O or an A. Sociology might go with an X, but I tend to go with hard sciences versus feel-good pseudoscience." And a guy with a different American flag avatar added, "You figure that if the X was to represent either or, they would just say Latin, Spanish, or Hispanic." So you have 2 guys trying to make a point, but actually making a valid point when they're trying to make fun of the thing that they're making fun of. So,
yeah. Biology states O or A.
Yeah,
Is that where the language came from? Was biology?
That's right. Yep. It's the gendered biology that he's talking about for Latino or Latina.
Yeah. I remember learned a good amount of Spanish in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And don't remember a single fucking thing, but
no. I took like 8 years of it, and
Yeah?
same. I've been to Mexico multiple times, kid. No idea.
They put you right in jail there, didn't they?
No, I did get groped by a group of women on the street, though, during one of my trips.
That was
when
fun.
I was 16 years old. So,
Ooh, that's
not
great.
so fun.
No, that would have been horrifying. That would have been so traumatic to be groped by women.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Also, Latina with an A. I haven't seen a lot of Latinas out there with A's. They're mostly, I'd say, probably in the C or D range, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't imagine what you're talking about. Yeah, but I remember a lot of being fascinated by the idea that like a chair had
a gender to it.
Had a female name, but a table had a male. I was like, what are those goofballs down there in Mexico up to? What are they doing? What's that
Just
about?
Pointing into the room, flipping a coin, picking whether it's a boy or girl. Yep.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, but may not be too untrue. That's right.
I also remember our Spanish teacher, this very, very much white guy with a mustache, bald with a mustache, white guy. Great look for a Spanish teacher.
Sure.
But he was talking about how in Spain they do the th sound.
Yes.
And he said like, so over there you would say, una celebración. And like some black girl said, faggot. Which was great. I was like, yeah, it's good. Nice.
Totally, yep. Just roasting that guy mercilessly. the theta sound. So
that guy undoubtedly killed himself at some point.
You haven't looked him up, though, huh? Not one of the teachers you've sought after online?
Nope, don't remember his name or anything. That was 40 years ago, so who knows? Hey, speaking of Mexicans, a guy posted this over on our Off My Chest. I am Mexican. I was born and raised here. And if you meet a couple of Latinos, you'll know that we hate the word Latinx. Everyone I talk about this just totally hates it. I know some people like me or use it, but it is not like that for the vast majority. Okay. A week ago, I was on a study trip in Florida on behalf of my university. In one of the activities, we had to make teams with other students, and we really got along with a group of girls. So when there was a little break, we started talking about our culture. At one point, one of them said the word Latinx, and I and my friends started laughing, saying we don't use that word because we have our own words. So they start saying that we are just using excuses to be transphobic and to exclude minorities and all that. Before we started arguing, our mentor told us to put the issue aside. It's just that I really hate the way some Americans try to impose their customs and rules on other cultures, not their culture. We have our inclusive words, but don't expect the rest of the world to follow your, quote, rules. Sounds like a way to appropriate and impose. And Difficult Dog 3349 said, vote Republican, brother.
See? It really will solve all of your problems. It really will.
Yeah. I would think Republicans wouldn't be too keen on illegal Mexicans voting in the election.
Well, I mean, that was a majority of the people who voted for Trump in the first. There were so many Hispanic people voting for Trump. So all in on that, which is so cool.
That rocks, yeah.
Yeah, build that wall. Keep my my sister out.
She's a puta.
See, you do remember some of the Spanish.
I do remember that lesson in class, certainly.
I just love the idea of some airhead white chick just trying to chastise the Latino guy for not using the made-up word. Just, gotta love it.
The American made-up word.
Not being inclusive by trying to teach the Latino how to talk. Or he's not being inclusive, and she's trying to help him out. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Good luck to that guy. Hope he runs for Republican Senate seat here in a couple years, and 100% will win. So.
Yeah, we're going to have like a Mexican president that's twice as conservative as Trump, and it's going to be awesome.
Anywhere between 20 to 30 years from now, keep an eye out, folks. It'll be great.
Hell world.
Juan Trump. That's bad. Found this under the Latinx tag.
Juan Trump, huh? Okay. Yeah. That's no Michael Mouse, but I think it's pretty good.
Found this under the Latinx tag over on Tumblr. I get that Latinx isn't the best term to use in the context of Spanish itself, and that Latin usually makes more sense, but you gotta stop yelling at literal Latin American queer people using the term just because they like it or prefer it. I don't know where you all got the idea that Latinx was started by non-Latin white people, but it wasn't. It was literally started by Latin activists looking for a better non-male default gender-neutral term. If you feel like it's been appropriated or overly adopted by white activists since then that's a separate conversation. Having problems with a particular term is fine, but you don't have to actively try to crucify people in the queer Latin community for using a term you don't like. And shut up about Latino. Everyone knows it's supposed to be gender neutral, but the whole point is that Spanish assumes male is the default. It's a flaw in the language itself. So people are trying to change that. Spanish is a colonizer's language as much as English or even French is, and you don't need to protect its sanctity from its own users trying to make it more inclusive. This was, of course, posted by a white teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. As is just about everything we read on this show, when you really think about it.
Yeah, but at the core, either a white teenager or a 48-year-old guy who
talks to teenagers online. Yeah, that's great. Oh, man. Yeah. Latin activists. It really looks way too much like latrine for my liking. The whole Latin thing.
It does kind of look like a latrine, yeah. I wouldn't want to be called that, so.
It's just say Latino. Or
I know, it's not that.
It's really crazy that the way this shit works. Or how about Latini? Throw an I in there. Make it fun. Latin is boring, you know?
No, that sounds like a martini that's made with like Jose Cuervo and then Tapita's hot sauce in it.
Ooh.
Latini? It's shaken.
You know what? Doesn't sound terrible, I gotta say.
And instead of an olive, what's it got in there? It's got a... What could you put in there?
Cum. Does that work?
Folks, check out our cocktails episode for more cum cocktail recipes.
There was literally a cum cocktail on that episode. I don't know if we included the recipe, but we definitely did a sampling of it.
Afterwards.
Mm-hmm. A gentleman went to our Too Afraid to Ask this. Is it pronounced Latinx or Latinx?
Good question.
And Dobler97 said, it's Latino or Latina. Latinx is not correct and not used unless you're white and annoying.
Oh, great. So I can continue to use it then. Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. No problem.
Yeah. Well, if it's part of how it works, I will certainly continue to do it as well.
If it annoys people, absolutely. Yep. Going to add that to the repertoire also along with the word colored. Still using that one. Mm-hmm. Makes a lot of people upset. So great. Apparently Marvel has incorporated the phrase Latinx into some of their new comics that have been coming out.
Of course.
Sido PR posted this on Reddit in response. Marvel Comics has crossed the line. They're using their two Spider-Man universe's Hispanic characters exclusively for Latinx propaganda aimed at kids. There's not even an ounce of educational content in this comic for kids, but lame propaganda for the fake-ass soy term Latinx. This comic misguides kids into believing that Latinx was coined by the LGBT community in Latin America, when it was coined by a vocal ultra minority in the United States. In fact, the term Latinx can't be pronounced in Spanish, and its plural Latinxes is even bigger horror, since the Spanish language requires a vowel plus an S to form its plurals. The comic also teaches kids that languages like Spanish or Portuguese are shady and not inclusive. Farther yet, the comic even considers that foreign intervention is a must to enforce updating both languages in spite of any geopolitical legal limitations. And Aries0413 replied, "Doesn't matter, kids don't read comics anymore."
Is that true?
100% true. Yeah, comic books are not
That's
aimed
true.
at children anymore. Nope.
Yeah. Just a grown-up children, really.
Yep, that's right. It's aimed for people that read one comic book when they were 8 years old and haven't actually read a comic book since, but have very strong feelings about everything that are put into them. So, yep.
Yeah, it's like clockwork. Every couple months, there's some kind of new gay, trans, or disabled superhero that seems to be thrown into these comics.
Sure. Yeah. The greatest thing is when a couple years ago, one of the comic book artists slipped some sort of like pro-Israel stuff into the background of one of the comics, an X-Men comic. And got past all the censors because it was like on the signs in the background of some scenes or something, but it was like some sort of coded message that was like pro-Israel. And boy, did a bunch of people get mad about that, and it was really funny. So they ended up having to pull that comic and then reprint it, which I can't imagine. And it was like the first issue of like the new run or something, which is just even funnier. So comics actually do rock. So
yeah, good. That sounds cool. Looking forward to finding that comic and framing it in my house. It's probably, you know what? They probably just made it more valuable, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
First print of that's probably got some. Probably cost quite a few shekels to get your hands on that.
There was a thing online that people were talking about. They were going to try to buy the copies and destroy it, which is such a gay thing to like.
God damn, man.
Like literally do anything else.
Like, first of all, book burning, pretty gay. Comic book burning. I mean, my God.
Wildly gay.
Good Lord. Sweet. If you look up, I looked up Cedo PR and on Reddit, and they mostly seem to post in a subreddit that's dedicated to hating the new Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
There's a whole subreddit just for disliking those movies, which is pretty sweet.
There's a whole new personality that's developed over the last 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's pretty cool. Feel free to hate those movies, but man, how much posting can you do about them?
I have to go online every day.
Hey, if you want the full episode with like an hour extra of posts or whatever, patreon.com/reportthispost. Just a couple bucks a month, and you'll get every single week just like that. A lot more posts.